Welcome to another live stream here with me, Sha-day Johnson. I'm so excited to be back here because, in case you missed it, I was gone last week because I was attending the Beyonce Renaissance World Tour. And as much as I love you all, I'm sorry, Beyonce is just more of a priority in my life. So I had to go and I had to miss our weekly live stream. But no worries, I am back here today. And today we're going to be talking all about launching. And this topic came up because one of the amazing members of my Facebook group, Automated and Abundant Coaches, had sent me a DM and said, "Hey, can you talk more about launching? What should I be doing? What tech tools should I be using, etc." So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Be sure to say hello in the chat. I'd love to know that you're here watching live, or let me know if you're watching the replay. And let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to bring up the chat just to make sure no one is okay. The other thing is, if you have any questions, definitely leave them in the comments because I will answer them either right now on this live or after, after I'm off, and then I read the comments later. So, hello, Lakeisha. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in a while. It's so good to see you. Thank you for joining live. Oh my gosh, Lakeisha is amazing, and you are actually probably really going to benefit from this training because I know your coaching business is relatively new. So send me a DM. Let me know how it's all going. But let's go ahead and talk about this. So I have my notes here. I promise I'm going to eventually get back to doing slides. I'm okay. Actually, Lakeisha said it perfectly. Busy. I've been busy. So I don't have time to be making slides. So I have my notes here and I'm going to be sharing everything I know about launching with you. And hopefully you find it helpful. And oh my goodness, it's Marissa. Hi. Welcome from Indiana. So good to see you. I love that you are always joining. And I feel like you're going to benefit from this as well because I know you wanted to learn more about this. So let's go ahead and talk about launching. But first, I just realized I did introduce myself in case people are here who don't know who I am. If you're seeing my face for the first time, hi, I'm Sha-day Johnson, and I am the tech strategist and YouTuber for coaches. And I specialize in teaching you how use different tech tools that will streamline and automate your business. So if you are finding me right now, you might have found me because I promote the tool Paperbell a lot, and that is still my favorite tool. And we're going to be talking about that soon and how it relates to launching. So welcome if you are watching inside of the Facebook group. I love you guys. And if you're not in the Facebook group yet, definitely come over and join us because it is a lot of fun. And we're creating an amazing community of coaches there. So let's break it down. First of all, if you're like me, then you did not know until recently, and by recently I mean within like the last year, that there's actually two definitions of launching. And one was like super obvious, and the other one was like, oh, okay, I didn't realize that, but that makes total sense now that you said it like that. So, what am I talking about? Well, launching, if you are launching your business, that's the first definition. It's a literal, this is the date, September 6th, 2023, you made your coaching business open and available to the world so anybody can come and purchase your program, right? So that is like the basic definition of launch. However, it's not secret, but it was secret to me. There's this other definition of launching that a lot of coaches use, as well as, just online business entrepreneurs in general, but specifically coaches. And so the other definition is that launching is actually technically like a business strategy, business model. And the definition that I wrote down here is that A launch is where you have a specific period of selling, aka a promotion. It is where you are, let's say you're taking a week and you are hosting like an event that is saying, hey, this program is available and you need to be a part of it. So the reason why I say there's two definitions is because the first one is just, oh, I'm launching my business, like it's open to the world. But the other definition is that it's where you're hosting some type of event, whether it be a one-day thing or a multiple day thing, and you are focused on getting as many people as possible into your program. So what I mean by that is you could be hosting a challenge. So, and you've probably been a part of a ton of launch events and maybe didn't even know it. So you could host a challenge. For example, a few months ago, I hosted a 4-day challenge called the Backend Blueprint, where I gave a ton of information away to coaches who needed my help with creating the back end of their system. But the key is because it's a launch, at the end of your launch, you are pitching whatever you're offering. So in my case, I pitched my course Power Up with Paper Bell at the end of that challenge. And I saw new students come in. It was very exciting. I loved it. And so I did that for basically a week. And then I went back to just like normal day to day sales activities. So a launch is really a period of time where you're focusing on getting as many people in as possible. Or if you, let's say you're doing a group program and you're only wanting 10 people, you could also limit it. So you just want to fill your program, you could be doing it inside of a launch period. So I hope that makes sense. So let me give you some more examples. So, like I said, a launch event can be a challenge, but it doesn't have to be a huge multiple day thing. It could also just be something like a webinar that you decide to host, or let's say a masterclass, a workshop, um, basically any type of training. Like even this live could be considered a launch. However, I technically don't consider it a launch because this is just something that I do weekly, whereas a launch is typically like something you're promoting. And that is another good distinction, is that whenever you're launching, it's something that you're hyping up, you're promoting in advance for a specific event to occur. So I actually have one that's coming up ideally in September. I really want to host a masterclass. And so I'm still ironing out the details of that, but I want it to be like a tech masterclass for coaches. So it's going to be completely free and provide a ton of value. The topic that I'm teaching, but then at the end, I will be pitching my course, because obviously, if you attend that masterclass, my intention is that you can attend that masterclass and leave without purchasing anything, and still receive, still have received great information and like help with something that you needed help with. But for those people who it's the right fit for, I will be saying, hey, if you want to join my course and take it a step further, great, here you go. Here's the link. And another thing that people tend to do, and by people, I mean coaches, what they may be doing is during that launch, perhaps this is not required, but perhaps you might be offering some extra incentive, such as a discount or like a bonus extra call with you or something. And so that's what kind of makes the launch event really special. Is like, okay, you may be, selling your coaching programs all throughout the year. Anybody can join anytime, but maybe during this launch event, you offer a bonus call or a bonus resource, or basically something that like really goes hand in hand with whatever your coaching program is, and that would really benefit the people who you're trying to attract. So, oh, and greetings from North Carolina. Love to see it. Hello, I'm here in sunny California. So let's recap. A launch has two definitions, right? So well, this is not a full recap because I got to go into the tools that you need to actually launch. But um, a launch, it's just launching your business. Hey, this is the date that everything's available. But the launch that I'm specifically talking about tonight is where you have a specific event that you are promoting and that you are going to use to sell as many as possible of your coaching program. Or if you have like a limited number of spots, then you're just working to like fill those spots within a specific amount of time. So you can do a challenge, you can do a masterclass, you can host a training, whatever it is. And if you've never done it before, I would say start with just a 1 day training, because a challenge, as fun as it was, it takes a lot of energy. Okay. Especially if you have a full-time job like I do. I'm trying to get out of that. That's one other story. But it takes a lot of energy. So it's definitely easier in the beginning to just start with like a 1 day event that you're promoting and then move on to the challenges, especially if you like I are like me and have a job, or if you don't have a virtual assistant that can assist you with all of the ins and outs of that. So let me see. I do have a question here. It says, does a promotional launch for one of my courses have to be a brand new course, or it could be one that hasn't been selling well and I want to bring attention to it? Okay, great question, because that is actually part of my notes, which is the beautiful thing about launching is that you are supposed to do it over and over. It doesn't have to be a brand new thing that you're promoting. So, for example, when I had my backend blueprint challenge a few months ago, I did it that one time. And that wasn't my first time doing a challenge, but that was my first time doing that specific challenge. And so I, launched or pitched my course at the end of it, but I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it all over again. I'm not going to have a new course. I'm going to be promoting the same exact course. I might change some things because I did learn a lot from that challenge. So I might tweak some things. But it's basically going to be the same thing when I choose to do it in the future. So to answer your question, no, it does not have to be a brand new course. It can be the same thing over and over. Now, the thing is, though, here's the key, is that you have to make sure, and I'm talking to myself as well, you have to make sure that in between your launches, whether it be in between a challenge, in between doing a webinar, in between doing some sort of workshop, you have to be growing your audience in between those launches so that new people are seeing your offers. So that is where it can get a little complicated. And it's I don't want to say it's hard because I hate to say like, oh, I'm struggling, but it is it can be a challenge because learning how to grow your audience takes a lot of discipline, a lot of consistency, and to be frank, it just takes some marketing skills. So it is what it is, which is why, I mean, all of you are coaches who are watching this, right? So it's really helpful to have a coach who can be assisting you in your marketing efforts and your business growth efforts. So I'm working with a coach right now who has taught me a lot about the launch strategy, which is why I know so much about it. And so I thought, oh, okay, I actually can finally come here and actually talk a little bit about this because I now have experience with this, and can tell you that it does work, but it does take patience, and it takes work. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I said, during the challenge that I did, even though I had so much fun, it was very exhausting and very what's the word I'm looking for? I don't even know the word I'm looking for because I don't want to make it sound negative because it wasn't a negative experience. But my point is that it's not going to be just like, oh, a walk in the park and so easy. um, so hopefully that answered your question. So now let's talk about the tech tools that you will need in order to succeed in launching your coaching program. So which one do I want to start with? Because there's two that I'm thinking of in particular. Now, at the bare minimum, you're going to need paper bill. Okay. And the reason I say that is because you basically need a way to sell your coaching program. And the nice thing about paper bill is that you don't actually need like a website set up or really anything else set up besides Paperbell. So when you set up your account, which if you don't have one, you can get one for free if you use my link, shadayjohnson.com/Paperbell. And so when you get your package, your coaching package set up inside of Paperbell, now you have a link available to you where if you give that link to someone, they click on it and they can purchase your program. So whether that's a one-on-one coaching program or a group coaching program, or even a course that you've set up inside of Paperbell, that is the link you're going to use to promote during your launch. So the other tech, that's the bare minimum tech tool that you're going to need to do this. Now, the other one, I want to say it's optional, but it's going to make things a lot harder if you don't have it. And so that is an email service provider, an ESP. So what I love about email service providers is that this is going to be the way that you can gather email addresses from people that are in your audience, and you can continue to have communication with them. So right now, if you're not signed up with an email service provider, maybe you're just doing things in the DMs or just, doing things in social media comments, which is totally fine because, you got to start somewhere. But what you want to do is eventually start collecting them inside of an actual email service provider. For one, because that's the legal way to do it, is you have to protect people's, personal information, which is their email address. But for two, the more you grow your list, simply put, the more money you're going to make because you're literally collecting an asset for your business. So for example, if you've been growing your following, let's say in a Facebook group or on Instagram, that's great and wonderful because you definitely want a way to connect with your people. However, the issue is you don't actually own these platforms that you're creating your communities on. So it is super important to actually have a person's email address because these days that's like the number one way to connect with someone if you don't have like their personal phone number. And as your email list is growing, you can start maybe like a weekly newsletter or, you know, behind the scenes type stuff and send that out. And you can also send out promotional emails. So, hey, I have a new masterclass coming up, or hey, I have a new challenge that I'm hosting coming up. And so people that have signed up to your email list in the past are, of course, going to want to hear from you because they signed up with you for a reason, right? So, of course, they're going to want to know what new things you have coming up. And if the timing fits and all that, then they're going to sign up and it's going to be great. And the nice thing about also having them on your email list is that let's say you have that launch and it's just not the right time for them. Well, guess what? You still have their email address so that you can continue to nurture them and then continue to promote your future launches to them. So that goes back to, yes, you should be doing it more than one time. So let me see. Is there any questions? Oh, here we go. Oh, okay. So any recommendation for an ESP? Yes, I do have one. My favorite email service provider for coaches is ConvertKit. Now, just because that's my favorite one does not mean if you're signed up with like, if you're signed up with MailChimp, that's the only one I really dislike. But any of the other ones, like maybe MailerLite or something, it's totally fine, but you have to have something. But I prefer ConvertKit, first of all, because it's simple to use and it has a lot of features that you're going to need. And I know that sounds really vague, but that's like as best I can sum it up without having to do like a full training on it. But I do plan on talking a lot more about ConvertKit in the future because that's just a tech tool that I think you should be using. But even if you're not using ConvertKit, just having an email service provider in general is a good idea. Oh, and then also, of course, I have an affiliate link for them if you want to, say thank you and, and use it. It's shadayjohnson.com/ConvertKit. You guessed it. So I appreciate if you use that. Okay. And then someone says, I still don't get the difference between my business Gmail account and the email you're talking about. Great question. Okay. So this is clearly telling me that I need to do some email marketing trainings. So I'm excited about that because you think I get excited about Paper Belt. I mean, I get excited about all things tech tools. So I'm excited to be bringing more about that to the Automated and Abundant Coaches Facebook group. So you have your business Gmail account. That's great. So I'm assuming you're talking about you have like mine is hello at sha-day.johnson.com, right? So I'm assuming that's what you're talking about when you say a business email address, meaning you have one with like your domain. So if you are just starting out and someone gives you their email address and you just email them individually, great, no problem. However, if you are sending emails to multiple people regarding your business, such as a sales email saying, hey, sign up for my coaching program, sign up for my masterclass I'm hosting. Technically, you should be sending it through an email service provider. And so when you sign up with that provider, you will tell them, hey, here is my business email, because they are going to require that you have, like, it can't just be sha-day@gmail.com. It has to be sha-day at sha-day.johnson.com. So you have to have like a business email in order to set it up. And that is to prevent spam, essentially. Um, so when you go into the email service provider, you can say, okay, send a broadcast. And that's a generic term that pretty much all email service providers use. And you say, send this broadcast to these people that are on my list. You can choose, that's a whole nother topic, but you can like segment your list. You can tag people so that it's only sending to certain people. But essentially, usually you're going to be sending it to your whole list. And it's still going to come from your email address, but because it's within this email service provider, it's more protected and it's safer, and you're protecting their information. And then there's just a ton of other stuff that you can do with an email software. So hopefully that explains it. I feel like I might have made that kind of confusing. So let me know if you're confused. Oh yeah, okay. So someone says there are email regulations, and that is what she is referring to. Thank you for the help. I appreciate that, because that's what I was trying to say. It's like basically it's the law. I'm not a lawyer, but it's the law. Okay, and perfect. So Marissa, you're saying you have one at thefacultyedge.com. Perfect. If that's the email that you want people to actually respond to when you are sending out email blasts or email broadcasts, perfect. Oh, someone says, I feel you. I'm excited about all things marketing. Yes. And I'm learning to get excited about marketing. I'm really excited about tech tools, but the more I learn about marketing, the more I'm like, oh, I kind of like this. Okay, and someone says, can you share some of the features? I'm assuming you're talking about ConvertKit. So the first feature that comes to mind, which this isn't exclusive to ConvertKit, but actually, I take that back. I'm gonna tell you a different one that is exclusive to ConvertKit. Okay, so ConvertKit. One feature that I really like is that you can actually create landing pages inside of ConvertKit without having to actually have a website. So for example, something that you will be using an email service provider for a lot is you can create a lead magnet, aka a freebie. And in order to allow someone to actually sign up for that lead magnet, you have to have what's called an opt-in form. And so even if you never heard the term opt-in form before, you've seen it. It's basically where you go to a landing page. So for example, if you go to, here's a good one. If you go to sha-day.johnson.com/roadmap, right? That's where I have a behind the scenes tech roadmap for coaches. That's a freebie that I offer. On that landing page, you're going to see a box that says first name and email address. That little box is what's considered an opt-in form. So ConvertKit allows you to create a landing page that has like the title, a picture, and then that opt-in form for whatever freebie you're creating, right? So, for example, my opt in page is actually not created in ConvertKit, but it's because I have a website. So, I actually created it on a website. But if you're someone who doesn't have a website, then that can be a little difficult. And trust me, especially if you're trying to DIY it, don't even. You're going to waste so much time where really your time needs to be focused on income generating activities, or actually I like to prefer to call it money making activities. And so this is a thing I got caught up with a lot in the beginning of my business was I'm going to learn how to do everything DIY. And then that took me months and months and months. And I wasn't selling anything because I was just so focused on, well, I got to create this big website and I got to, no. So I like tools that are very strategic. That's something I promote inside of this Facebook group is use strategic tools that are actually going to work for you and not against you. So if you use something like ConvertKit, the landing page thing is just already built in. So you can just quickly create it and be done and start promoting your freebie and getting people on your email list versus spending 5 or 6 months or five figures, hiring someone to do this website that you don't technically even need to start making money. Does that make sense? I feel like I got a little bit on a soapbox there, but so that's one feature that I really like about ConvertKit is the landing page feature. It's going to save you a lot of time and it's going to help you grow your email list. So I think I answered all the questions, but keep them coming because I love them so much. So now we can do a recap, which is what is a launch? There's 2 definitions. Remember, I said it's the literal date that you launch your coaching business, but the more important the more important definition and the one that I just didn't even know until, I don't know, like a year or so ago is a launch is technically a focused period of time where you're selling. So you're promoting some sort of event where you're trying to fill up your coaching programs, whether that be a one-on-one program or a group program. You're promoting this event, a couple weeks ahead of time and getting people to sign up. And when you are getting people to sign up, they are signing up through your email list. In the beginning, I said that that's, optional because obviously you can just have people, DM you and be like, okay, I'll send you the Zoom link for the event that I'm hosting. Of course, you can do it like that, but the easier, more seamless, streamlined way is going to be to set it up, get them inside of your email service provider. So that way you can share details more easily through your email list. So, that's what a launch is. It's a specific period of selling, and you can have either a challenge, a masterclass, a workshop, or training. And at the end of that event, whether it be a one-day event or a multi-day event, you're going to pitch your coaching program and sell it out, fill it up, and make a ton of money. So that is the launch part. Now, the tech tools that you need to succeed with that launch are, in my opinion, Paperbell, because that's where you're going to set up your coaching programs and make it easy for people to just purchase from you. And then they're going to get onboarded seamlessly. And then also that email service provider, which I prefer ConvertKit. So those are the 2 tools that you need. Now, if you are interested in working with Paperbell and you're like, I have no idea where to start, well, I have got something for you. Even if you've heard about my course, Power Up with Paperbell, you might not have heard about this little promotion that I'm doing. It's not a launch. It's just a promotion. But I am offering the first 2 modules of my course, Power Up with Paperbell, for just $9, which is a complete steal. Let me actually share my screen so that you can learn a little bit more about the course and what the first 2 modules include. And the reason why I'm doing this is because signing up for my course, is an investment. And so I recognize that it's not necessarily an investment that everyone just has right off the bat, even though I personally think it's worth it. And I've had many testimonials come say the course is so helpful and it's changed their business and they've already made so many sales and it's just super exciting. So I really wanted to make it more accessible in case you've been wondering, like, what's this power up with Paper Bell thing all about? So if you go to shadayjohnson.com/try power up, which, oh my gosh, I don't even have it on it because I forgot to type it in before. Let's see, shadayjohnson.com/try power up. There we go. So let me just put that on the screen. Here we go. So if you go to this link, you're going to click this buy now $9 at the top. So that way you can get access to those first two modules. And first of all, Power Up with Paper Bell is the first step-by-step Paper Bell course for coaches that want to create a low maintenance and efficient backend system so that you can actually grow to 10K plus months. But most importantly, grow to those 10K plus months without tech overwhelm. That is like the thing that I am most passionate about, is teaching coaches how to set up these systems and automation, but without getting overwhelmed by a new tech tool. So I love Paper Bell and I love that it's very easy to use, but it's okay. Sometimes we still need a little bit of hand holding. And with this course, I give click by click tutorials about how to set up every single type of package imaginable, whether it's a one-on-one program, a group coaching program, a digital product, a course, a hybrid of any of those. We go through all of it. And the first two modules, you might think, oh, that's nothing, but it really is something. So let me just scroll down a little bit and show you. So on this page, if you scroll down, you will see that here are all of the modules that are available to you. And like I said, I really dived deep with this in order to give you a complete back-end system that you can set up for your coaching business. So the first two modules are all about your account setup and your calendar and availability. Now, with account setup, what I walk you through is setting up your Paper Bell, making sure that you've optimized all the settings so that you can actually start with the best foundation for your coaching business. And then in the second module that you'll get access to if you want this $9 deal is the calendar and availability module, which you would think, oh, I could just set up my calendar, no big deal. But I have a super heartfelt email from someone, a student, who said, oh my gosh, thank you so much for your tips about the Gmail calendar, because I had no idea that that's what I needed to be doing. And I wouldn't even know how to search for that information. So in this particular module, I help you set up your calendar and availability so that you don't have to ever worry about being double booked ever again, because that's happened to me and it is awful. And you learn a lot about making sure you've integrated everything, or what am I trying to say? Making sure you've set up your Gmail calendar and all of those options in a way that's not going to mess anything up. Let me just put it that way. So I love the first two modules. It's just, a snippet of everything else that you would get to learn, because obviously then we would move on to creating your packages and then creating your contracts and then all the automated emails and setting up your Paper Bell shop. It's a whole thing. And that's so amazing, if I do say so myself. So again, you'll get these first two modules if you go to shadayjohnson.com/try power up. And I do believe I see some questions coming through. So let me just, I never use, and I'm like, maybe I should today, is this little feature called chat overlay. Let's see. Can you guys see that? It's supposed to have the comments pop up. And of course I don't see them popping up. Oh, well, it's new comments. So I guess you can't see any of the past. That's okay. but I should use that feature more often. Okay, so hold on. Someone says they have a website. Okay. Someone says I had the opportunity to purchase this earlier. I'm so excited to try it out. Oh my gosh, I know who that is, but I don't know if you want me to say your name. So I'm so excited. I already DM'd you saying I'm so excited to have you in there, and definitely let us know what you think of the first two modules. And then once get those first two modules, of course, then you have the option to upgrade to get access to all of them. Okay. Okay, hey Marissa, this is Marissa. Why doesn't my name show up in the comment sections? Others' names show up. I think mine only says Facebook user. Oh, don't feel isolated. Oh my gosh, no. Okay, so the reason why is because I'm using a tool called Restream. And so you technically have to give Restream permission to see your username. And so I don't have it handy, but there's like a little link you can go to say, yes, I give you permission. And so then in the future, it'll show up. So I'll make a note to DM you later once I find that link. Hold on. DM Marissa. Hi, Marissa. Okay. Oh, yes. Someone says you might need to accept some community standards. So yeah, it's just a restream. It's just the tool. It's their way of protecting your privacy. Let's see. Someone says that calendar took me out and I still don't have it set up. Oh no. What do you mean? I'm not sure who said this. Is it Marissa or somebody else? Let's talk about it if you have a moment. Because I want to know, what do you mean by it took you out? Meaning it was like super frustrating. Well, I can tell you, if go to get these first two modules, that'll be super helpful. It's Sylvia. Hi, Sylvia. Good to see you. So let me know what issue you're having so we can get that figured out, because not on my watch. I don't want any tech confusion or tech overwhelm. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you with, all of your, a little frustrating. Okay. So definitely consider getting these first two modules. And if not, if you have a more specific question, you can always ask it in the comments or send me a DM. I don't mind. So, here's the link again, shadayjohnson.com/try-power-up. And I'm super excited to see if you guys, what you think of the first two modules. And then obviously I hope you would join us for the rest of it. But like I said, it is an investment and I want to make sure that it's something that you know you're going to like. So hold on, I see more chat. I'm purchasing now. Awesome. I assume that's Sylvia. Great. Can't wait to see you in there. Oh my gosh. Look at, someone just put the link in the chat. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, whoever you are, anonymous Facebook user. Probably Marissa. Oh, I feel so bad. I don't want you to feel isolated. That really, but I appreciate whoever typed that in. So thank you so much. Oh my gosh, it's been 38 minutes. I always come on here saying, I'm just going to do like a 15-minute training. And here we are 40 minutes later. It's because we started talking about email service providers, and I clearly need to create another a training about that. Okay, good. Marissa, you said that was a joke. You're not isolated. Okay, good. I'm so relieved. I mean, I knew you were joking, but at the same time, I feel what you were saying, and I don't want you to feel that way. I will be sending you that link. I got to find it. And actually, I probably should just be putting it in like the title or whatever of like, oh, if you want to show your name, do that. And for whatever reason, I just haven't been. Anyway, okay, we're gonna close this out because it's been a really long time. I appreciate anyone who stayed on and did this with me, because I know depending on time zones, it's kind of late. So thank you for spending time with me. I do plan on coming back next week. Wednesday, same time, 6 p.m. Pacific. I don't know what the topic will be yet, but if you have any topic recommendations, go ahead and leave them in the comments because I want to make sure whenever I come here for a training, it's actually something that is useful for you and that you've been wanting to do. When people join the group, automated and abundant coaches, I do ask, what you want to learn about. And one that piqued my interest recently was someone said they wanted to learn about sales funnels. And I was like, I happen to know way too much about sales funnels. And whoever the marketing person is in here, I think it was Sylvia. You probably know a lot about them too. Um, but I mean, I could talk about email service providers. I could talk about sales funnels. Obviously, I can talk a lot about coaching programs. I can talk a lot about Paper Bell, clearly. I can talk about pretty much anything tech related. I am your girl when it comes to tech and coaches because coaches are my people. And um, when you have an online business, there's so many different, niches of online businesses. So I like to just zone in and focus on coaches because coaches are changing the world. Coaches are making the world a better place. And any sliver of connection that I can have to that, I want it. Give it to me. So that's why I've made it my mission to help coaches because I feel like since you're changing the world and I'm helping you, then I'm changing the world too. So we're just going to change the world together. And I love it. So thank you so much for joining me again. Oh my gosh, I took away my little call to action here. Go to shadayjohnson.com/try power up to get the first 2 modules of my course, Power Up with Paper Bell, for just $9. And I will see you next week.